Hey everybody, I'm Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are continuing our top 100 countdown, beginning with 90. But before we get started, as always, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and of course hit that bell icon if you want notification of any future content.
Or click the link below where all of our social media is at.
All right. Okay, so I guess we'll just dive right in.
Yeah, we already said how we're doing it.
Yeah, we did last time. So yeah, we did everything on Pub Meeple, over 500 games. I'm sure you watched the last one, so you know all
These
this.
are 10 games we think are better than the last 10 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would stand to reason, right? But
So the first 10 weren't good, I'm guessing.
all right, whatever.
Anyway.
Number 90.
90.
My number 90 is a roll and write. I think, is this my first roll and write on the list? I think it is, actually. Yeah, my first roll and write so far. This is one we've had for a while. There are multiple iterations to it, but I think I still like the original best so far. That is Welcome To. Short for Welcome to Your Perfect Home. This is an interesting one. It is cards and... Okay, so your player board is basically 3 city blocks or 3 neighborhood blocks with no house numbers on them. Potential pools in the backyard, potential fences next to each one. And as the game progresses, you are flipping over 3 sets of cards. And you have to choose one set out of those 3. Each set contains a number between 1 and 15, 1 and 14. Maybe it is 15. 1 and 15. And then the second part of the card is a fence or a pool or a park or some other neighborhood piece that you can add to your board and thus improve your scoring. It gets a little tricky when you start using up some of the numbers because, of course, as any neighborhood street, your numbers have to be consecutive because that's just the way it goes. So when you have accidentally spaced stuff out a little too far, and now you have 3 houses between 13 and 15, you might have a problem. So I love this game. It's difficult to actually finish your city blocks, or your neighborhood blocks, I should say, but it's a fun challenge to me. I really like this one. But anyway, that is my number 90. Welcome to.
My number 90 is my second pickup and delivery game.
I can see this is going to be a pattern.
I'm just noticing it was my second pickup and delivery game. I look back.
All right.
This is probably the first pickup and delivery game we've ever played. This is Empire Express.
Oh, okay.
This is the toned down one from Empire Builders. If you don't know what Empire Builders was or Empire Express, this is a Cranrail game that Mayfair put out long ago. They just redid one of the older Cranrail games, but that's for another show. But anyway, this is one that you have a train and you are building your routes by drawing on the board in crayon, going from dot to dot or dot to triangle, however, whatever terrain you're going through, but you're building routes to be able to deliver goods for your tickets that you have, and you got to get to these cities to deliver them. It's a lot of fun to me. That's why it's number 90.
I feel like Cranrails are a definite... They're an acquired taste.
It's a niche, yeah. There
it's
you
a
go.
niche.
It's like lobster.
Acquired taste, yes. Either you love them or hate them, or there's little in between. I guess there is some in between because I'm okay on them. I don't hate them.
No,
I do enjoy them. They're not going to show up on my list.
of course.
They're not in my they're not my favorites, but I do enjoy them. So, but anyway.
I like them. That's why it's my number 90, Empire Express.
My number 89 is it's a tableau building game, but your tableau is made up of dice. This is Sagrada. You are building out a stained glass window using beautiful translucent dice in 5 different colors. Each round, whoever's first, rolls a number of dice equal to double the number of players plus 1, I think it is. And kind of a snake draft. You choose your dice, and as you choose them, you have to put them onto your stained glass window. And the window is like 4 by 5 in spacing. With a few caveats, you can't put 2 of the same number next to each other. You can't put 2 of the same color next to each other. And that creates some minor issues, especially as you get later in the game and your options are very much narrowed down some. It's fun to try to make that puzzle work as well as to meet the goals. There are 3 group goals out there, and then everybody has a single goal. In the base game, that single goal was simply a color. I get whatever the pip value is on whatever color my card shows, which is kind of interesting. Or maybe it's 6 colors. I don't remember now. Geez, 5 or 6. Oh. But yeah, I love the puzzle of this one. We haven't gotten to play it recently. It's coming up very soon in playing through our collection, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, that is my number 89, Sagrada.
My number 89 is all about building a little scenery in front of you by drafting cards with little sticks for the number or the row. And go into a campfire.
Okay, meadow. Got it.
My number 89 is
with
meadow.
Sticks.
Yeah, the little signs, I guess you want to call them.
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Anyway, this is all about drafting cards in a grid where you're putting one of your signs with an action on it, basically, or a number on it, and it allows you to take that card in that row of that number. So if I put a 4 down in this row, I'm taking the 4th card from my sign.
Going that direction, yeah.
Or I can turn it around and throw it in the campfire, and now I can take the action that's on it too, and also be able to put out one of my numbers over there on the campfire.
Claim a seat at the campfire.
Yep. But yeah, so you're getting these cards to build out these scenes to be able to get points there, because the more cards you have, the better scenes you have, the more points you are. But you also have these little adventures or journeys or whatever you want to call it, where you go down the road and seeing other things, and you got these going on the other side too.
I would have a problem getting those, so.
But that's my number 89, Meadow.
All right, my number 88 is my second roll, right? This one actually, well, this is a roll and write, not a flip and write. I guess Welcome To is technically a flip and write. This is throwing numbers onto a map and trying to make the best tour map. This is On Tour. On Tour, there's a couple of different versions on it now with multiple maps. We've actually got 4 different maps now, but I still like just the original US map. With On Tour, one person is rolling 2 10-sided dice, and everybody has to use both of those dice in reverse. So for instance, if it is a 3 and a 7, everybody has to write a 37 somewhere on their map, and everybody has to write a 73 somewhere on their map. The trick is there's 3 cards out, 3 regional cards out that tell you what region you have to choose. You get to choose 2 of the 3. One region holds your 37, the other holds your 73, and you're not using the 3rd. But if you can make it work with the city specified on those region cards, then you get extra points at the end of the game for making that city match up.
Yeah.
But then you still got to make your tour work with those cities. And at the end of the game, what's going to happen is you start at one end or the other, either 99 or 1, and you start drawing out your map, drawing out your route using consecutive numbers. So I have to go 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 15. I can't jump back to 2. And that makes it tricky when you're trying to get those numbers into cities that will work. Because there's predetermined lines on the board. You have to follow the lines. There's multiple lines out of each city. So you can go multiple directions. But you can't just skip through several to get to the number you want. So I love this one. I always have. Again, it's another puzzle. It's a challenge. I know this is not one of your favorites.
I don't think I have any roll and writes in my top 100. So
Okay. Well, anyway, that is my number 88 on tour.
my number 88 is all about the circus.
Okay. Could be a couple of them.
This is Three Ring Circus.
Okay.
This is all about the adventures at the beginning of Barnum and Bailey when they started the circus, and all the little towns are having circuses. But you're your own circus corps and going around trying to beat circuses, to be a circus and to compete against Barnum before he comes through, trying to get as many points out of each town, trying to finish off a town so it would score before Barnum Bailey get there. But you're doing this all around the board until Barnum gets all the way back to New York, and then whoever has the most points wins. And it's not like you don't like about this game is that there's not an even amount of turns. It's once Barnum is back, game over, whether everybody's had the same amount of turns or not.
That piece moves on certain circumstances. So there's no, it doesn't time out evenly all the time.
No.
So if you are last player or second to last player, you may not get as many turns as the first player did.
Yeah, this is one of those suck it up buttercup games. Them's the breaks, that's real life.
Probably not on my list, I can guarantee it. I don't get me wrong, I enjoy the game. I like the game. I just don't like
It's got those really cool little tints that you put out.
It does.
That
Those are
really
very
cool.
neat. Yeah.
But yep, that is number 88, Three Ring Circus.
Okay. My number 87 is it's part of a series. This is Tile Laying and Pattern Building. This is the third installment in the Azul series, Queen's Garden.
Oh, wow, you like this one best?
There's still 87 numbers above this, or 86 numbers above this. There might be others out there.
Oh, okay, I got that wrong. You like this the worst?
Not necessarily, because there could be some underneath it. This one's at 87. Anyway, Azul Queen's Garden is one of the trickier of the Azul games. You are trying to build out these hexagonal flowers, essentially, with statues in the middle or waterfalls in the middle of each one, and you're trying to match patterns and colors in order to score more points. It is a tricky puzzle.
Yes, it is. This one's probably the hardest one of them all.
This one definitely changes up Azul, the whole Azul pattern. It changes up that model.
Because it's adding tiles.
Yeah, because one of the things you can draft is actual garden tiles, the tiles that your tiles go on to.
Yeah, you need those tiles to build more garden.
Yeah, I really enjoy this one. I enjoy, again, the puzzle of it. I feel like that's a theme here going. But that is my number 87. Is that where we're at? 87.
Yep, 87.
Azul Queen's Garden.
My number 87 is, I think it's the first space one on here, right? Yes, it's my first space-themed one.
Okay.
This was number 30 last year.
I have not even been telling what these were last year, but oh well. That's all right.
But this one, I don't think you like as much. I like it. Justin likes it. I know Connor likes it. But this is Cosmic Encounters.
No.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of this. This one's a blast. I mean, there is take that like crazy in this game.
There is.
But if you have the right people, it's a fun take that.
Yeah, there's also a lot of negotiation in this game.
Yeah, and you're not big on the negotiation. But it's all about believing what somebody's trying to tell you. I mean, somebody's going to invade somebody else's planet.
Yeah.
And they're looking for backing, but yet the people on the planet is also looking for backing, so they're willing to give you something if you come and back them, but then the other person's price is even higher.
Yeah.
So it's who do you find that's going to benefit you the most to help you win the game.
Yeah.
But no, this one's a lot of fun. I didn't think I'd have a lot of fun with this one, but the last time we played this, I had a blast. Yeah. Actually, I've had a blast both times. The few times we have played this one.
I've enjoyed it, but it's not something I am ever going to pull off the shelf.
Nope. Did we play this on the 24? I don't remember if we did it.
It is on the short list of things to play.
There you go. You might say it this year.
So, yeah, we need to play this one on the 24.
That's number 87, Cosmic Encounters.
All right. right, my number 86 is a newer game. It was not on my list last year because it was not out last year. We played this one for the first time at the retreat with Jeff. It was very late and I very much did not like it, but I do now. This is Rock Hard 1977.
Wow, it made your 100. I didn't think it would ever make your 100.
No, I have enjoyed the last couple plays of it.
Okay.
I think it is a very well done game.
Mm-hmm.
It is very thematic. With Rock Hard 1977, this was designed by Jackie Fox of the Runaways, and it kind of outlines what it was like to be a rock star in the late 70s, straight up to the candy part of it, and the addiction involved with
Sugar?
using candy. Yeah, well, sure.
Sugar addictions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the game is, or each round, I should say, is split into 3 rounds, and you're dealing with trying to do interviews and rehearse and various things during the day.
And work.
Maybe work, because work is important. That's how you get money until you become a rock star. And then in the evenings, you're trying to play gigs and get your name out there and get your reputation up. Maybe do some extra rehearsing. And then at night, you're trying to network and you're out at the bars and at the parties and doing things. Or if you're smart, you're going to bed early so you can be first next turn. It is a neat game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of decision space in this one in terms of what needs to be done and in what order to get it done. How often do you skip work before you get written up too many times and you're fired and now you have to rely on your royalties?
3 times?
Yeah, I know. Unless you're the truck driver, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was last game, or a couple games ago. But anyway, it is a fun game. Will it stay in the top 100 next year? I don't know. But I was impressed when it's not 11 o'clock at night when we start the game and I'm already tired, how much fun I had with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would look forward to playing this maybe with Jeff and Eric again next year.
You heard it, Jeff.
Retreat,
Eric, if you're watching.
Yeah. Try again, but just not 11:30 at night, guys. Okay.
Okay. Where are we on? 86?
86. 86.
86. This one's all about the translation of it.
Translation. Oh. It's got to be Scholars.
This is Scholars of the
Okay.
West Tigris. This is all about you are
The
taking...
South Tigris.
South Tigris.
Wrong
What did I say?
direction.
West Tigris? South Tigris. It's the West Sider thing. Anyway, which I'm not, so I don't know where that came from. Anyway, maybe there's a west side of the Tigris. I don't know.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
we'll stop there. Anyway, this is all about being hired. You're hiring out translators to come in, and they line up at the bottom of the board, and you're trying to get these Sanscripts translated into Arabic via
There's-
20 different languages, because you're like going, okay,
quite
so
20, but
Sanskrit
there's
can
like
go
6.
to Hebrew to something else and finally get to Arabic.
Yeah.
But you're trying to actually look to see how fast you can get it translated to Arabic by how many of these translators you're going to use.
Yeah.
You're also trying to go up. There's like 3 or 4 different tracks you're trying to go up, plus the guilds at the top you're using, and those are what you can also use to translate stuff with. But I thought it was our one play we've had of this. I really liked it.
I did really enjoy
It
this
was
one.
really different.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out the whole puzzle of how can I get this Sanskrit that I have translated fast enough that I can beat Jenny to the top.
I thought it was interesting that you had to hire these different translators, and one translator may go from Hebrew to something else, and a different translator goes from that to something else, and then so you had to make sometimes 2 or 3 steps to get all the way there.
Yeah.
And I did like that. I did not win this by a long shot.
And the translators down there,
I liked it.
other people have been putting it down.
Yes.
And you're marking it, and when they get a certain amount of translations they've done,
They retire.
they retire
They're
and you
gone.
get points for them.
Yeah,
The person who put them
Yeah.
down gets points for them.
that's true. Yeah, see, I never got anybody down there.
So, yeah, well, you got people down there, just nobody was using your translators.
Everyone I got down there somehow got removed, and I don't remember how that happened now. But anyway, yeah, I liked it. I did like it. It's coming up in the S's.
But this is the
again,
game I thought
so-
I was just losing horribly, and they
you
asked me, it's like going,
not
if I
gonna
give you
win.
this coin for that translator, you're not going to win. Or you're just like, I'm not even in the ballpark. And we come up, score the
won.
points, and I win.
Yeah.
I won by was it a tie? And I won by
I don't remember.
I
I'd
remember.
have to look.
This is 86, right?
Yes.
Again, Scholars of the South Tigris, not the West Tigris. Don't go there.
I don't even know if that place exists.
If it does, don't go there.
Okay, my 85 is one, admittedly, we have not played in a very long time. But every time I think about a deck builder, my mind goes to one of two games.
So it can't be the one I'm thinking that you would automatically go to. That's going to be like in your top 10 probably. I don't know. We'll find out.
Anyway, my mind automatically goes to either summer camp or trains. Trains is my number 85.
Neither one of them was the one I was thinking.
Oh, okay. Trains was the first deck builder we ever played. And I think, and it plays, let me rephrase that. The card play is almost identical to
It's a lot like Dominion.
Dominion.
Yes, it has the
Yes.
Dominion aspects
that
and how you're building your hand.
same exact aspect. You've got a number of cards laid out that do different things that you are spending points off of your cards in order to buy and put into your deck. Simple as that. And each of those new cards will do something else. Very similar to Dominion.
Or do what you have in your hand, but better.
Right. So the big difference with this one is that there's an actual board. So each of those cards do something that affect the board, whether it be to lay out a train or put out a depot, or whatever. There's all sorts of different things it'll do. Some of them will let you shed some of the waste out of your hand because, of course, every time you build a rail, you're creating waste and you're putting that waste into your hand. Every time you build a depot, you're creating waste because that's what building does. I have always enjoyed this one. I'm looking forward to getting it back to the table once we, like I said, we get to the tees. But we have not played it in a while. But it's one that I have fond memories of.
Yep.
And therefore, I've always enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to playing it some more.
Yeah, we even have the Red Sun expansion
We
for
do.
it too. That
Rising-
we've played
Rising
Sun, Red Sun. It's right down there. Rising Sun.
Wrong. Okay.
We know it's down there
Anyway.
because it's been down there for a
It's been
while.
down there for a while. All right. Anyway, that is my number 85, Trains.
85, you say?
Yes.
This is another train game. I used to think it was a pickup and delivery, but it's not a pickup and delivery. It's a route builder. Nothing?
No, my brain just stopped. It's got to be what?
Put on
And
the
my
old air
Ticket
brakes,
to
eh?
Ride.
This is Ticket to Ride Europe.
Oh, okay.
I like Europe because there's so much on that
There
board.
is a lot on that
And
board.
it has those little train stations that
Yes.
you've got to pay to go through if it's not your train
Yes.
station. But there's the really long routes, and it's just it looks more like chaos than the United States
right.
one.
Well, the U.S. you're so used to the shape,
Yeah.
and the basic layout of the cities. Europe, although we're familiar with it, it does not look.
Europe,
it's not
I feel
normal
you
to
can
us
cut people off
very quickly.
major routes
Yes.
where there's no way
Yes.
they're going to have time to go around the other way.
They may not be able to get through it all
Yeah.
just because of the way the map is built. So yeah.
Yeah, so if you've never played Ticket to Ride, this is all about route buildings. You're playing cards out like almost in like a rummy style almost because you're putting out sets of the cards you need. So like this track I need to go down needs 5 white trains, and I have 5 white trains, so I lay them down and I can put out my 5 white trains. Well, my 5 colored trains on the white spaces.
There you go.
There is areas on the track that have 2 or 3, but when it scales down to lower count players, like 2 players, you only play with 1 train going through there.
Yeah.
There's usually multiple ways to get into a city. Some only have 2 ways in, some have 4 ways, some 5 ways. Depends
Yeah.
on where you're at though. But
Some of the bigger cities, yeah.
you're trying to get your routes built to go from one city to another on the cards that you have. And once you get those, you get to score them at the end of the game, and the one who has the most points at the end of the game wins.
I do like this one. It's very easy.
Yep.
It is one of the quintessential welcoming games, I think.
Yep.
I have taught this to my sister and her husband at the time, and neither one are even remotely gamers, and they both understood it and enjoyed it. So yeah, and now they have all the little versions that play in 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's great. Yeah.
But that's number 85, Ticket to Ride, you're up.
My number 84 is another deck builder. You have already had this on your list. Matter of
Ooh, it's
fact,
a
you forgot
crossover.
it last year. Yeah, this is
Should
actually
have
our
a special
first
thing, like
crossover.
crossover,
Right?
crossover.
This did drop, which is surprising. It dropped this far. It was 33 last year. Trains was 61 last year, so it dropped a little bit too. But there were a lot of really good games this year. But anyway, all right. So my number 84 is Eminent Domain.
Oh,
I like it better than him.
apparently so.
Yes, very much.
Considering it wasn't even on my list last year.
Exactly. And it was 33 on mine last year. It's 84 this year. Anyway, Eminent Domain, as he said last video, is a space-based
Deck builder.
You start off with everybody starts off with the exact same hand of cards, a couple each of warfare and colonize and search, and I think there's 5 different types of cards.
Technology, like that.
Yeah. On your turn, you are deciding what your main action is going to be, and you're drawing one of those cards from the center of the board. So you are only ever going to have, with the exception of some technology cards, 5 different types of cards in your hand. It's just a matter of how many of those cards do you have.
Yeah, and then there's the politics card too.
And then
that
the
could be
politics
anything.
cards, yeah, that can be anything. And then in the base game, you throw it away as soon as you've used it
you
the
only
first
get
time.
one.
Yeah.
In the expansions, there's a pile of them.
Yes. So you're taking the card that of the action you want to declare that turn, you're laying all your cards down, you're declaring that action. And then everybody else can follow suit if they wish to or can, but they have to have those exact same cards in their hand in order to do so. But by playing out those cards out of their hand, that leaves them less cards on their turn because they don't get to draw back up till the end of their turn. So it's a fine line of when do I follow, when do I, what is it called, sustain or sustain? And if you sustain, you're not going to follow that action.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't-
It's something. It's stained something.
That's helpful, thank you. Anyway, if you follow, you basically get an extra action. Then on a turn that's not yours, but you're using up cards you may need for your own turn. However, if you decide not to follow, then you get to draw a card off the top of your deck. So in a larger player count, it is a way to kind of rebuild your hand after you have followed at least once. So anyway, I really enjoyed this one, obviously, better than you. That is Eminent Domain, my number 84.
My number 84 is probably one of the easiest games on my list.
Summer
When I
camp.
mean easy, it is extremely easy to teach, easy to play. We got this last year at Gen Con. We got one of the copies before it sold out.
Oh, Middle Ages.
No, it is
No.
not Middle Ages.
Okay.
This
What
is
is it?
vegetable stock.
Oh my gosh.
This game is so insane. This is
I don't know if
basically
that's on
a
my list or
stock
not.
market game with vegetables.
Uh-huh.
Because you're going to put out the vegetables at the top, and that's the way the stocks go. They're going to have a stock number on the side, and it's where it's going to start, and then your cards are going to come out, and you're going to pick cards. Basically, you're going to, draft a card to your hand.
Right.
And you're trying
Or
to
to your
figure out
tableau.
to your tableau, and you're trying to figure out at the end of the rounds what vegetable is going to be highest in stock because you're trying to get the most points. The higher stocks are going to be more points. So, and once all the cards are out, then you go back through and see where all the stocks happen. So there is a 1 card left over after all is drafted, and that card is what vegetables go up. So whatever vegetable or whatever's on that card, those stocks are going to go up, depending on how many's on it.
Right.
So it could say it's the cucumber, right? Is it cucumber one or is it a broccoli? I don't
I think it's
remember.
a broccoli.
But say, okay, yeah, it's broccoli. Say like there's 2 broccolis on this card, so broccoli's going to go up too. Now, it can only top out at a certain point, but when it gets there and it still has to go up, now it crashes. It goes all the way to the bottom. Now it's worth nothing until one of the cards that's not taken is broccoli. Then it
broccoli
can start
again,
going
yeah.
up. So you're trying to force that up. It's like, I've got a lot of broccoli over here, and right now it's sitting at 0. I
So,
need
yeah.
to not take a broccoli card so it'll go up. And then everybody sees that. And now they're taking all the broccoli. So
Yeah.
they know they just crashed your market. But it is a lot of fun. It's so
is
easy to play.
interesting. It's a neat puzzle as to what do I leave behind so it'll make the stock market climb a little bit versus what do I take so I get better returns on where the stock market
Do I
is.
just focus on one or two, or do I
Yeah.
try and get a wide portfolio, though?
Oh, every time I've ever focused on one or two, those two crash.
But we
and
sat
I'm
down
done.
at Gen Con with Root Shirt Boy and played this like
Root
three or
Shirt
four.
Boy?
Root Short guy. Sorry, Matt. Root Shirt guy. And he's not going to let me live this down if he watches this video. Anyway, so we sat down with Root Shirt guy at Gen Con, played this like 3 or 4 times before we said, okay, enough. Let's play something else.
It was quick.
But it's very addictive. We played this at the retreat,
Yeah.
just sitting there waiting. We played like 4 or 5 hands of that because everybody's
Yeah.
like, what is this? Well, by the time
Well,
we
that's
got
just
done with the
it.
first game, they're like, going, oh, back that up again. Let's play it again.
Yeah, it's
Let's
so
play
simple.
it again. So, yeah,
that's a
that
good one.
is my number. I forgot number we're on. 84, vegetable stock.
Yep. My number 83. We actually just got a chance to play not too long ago. It was in one of our more recent videos of the Playing Through Our Collection. This one takes us back to our D&D days. Well, your D&D days. I hated building characters. This is Role Player. Role Player is the whole basis of the game is building a character to take into a role-playing game. You are die by die trying to build out a character with the best stats you can get. Now, if you've ever played a role-playing game, most of them we've played, you roll up with 3 dice per stat. And you have your 6 different stats. You have your strength and your dex and your charisma and all of your
Intelligence
basic stats.
And wisdom and
Yes. And there's one more. What is it?
dexterity.
I said dex.
Did you?
Constitution. So one by one, you're trying to roll up these 6 stats. During each turn, there are a number of dice out plus 1. So there's always an extra 1, so everybody has at least a choice. And then whoever's turn it is to go first that round takes the dice they want, and they have to place it into their character sheet. And you have to decide at that point what color serves you best, as well as what number. Because depending on where you put it, that stat is going to give you a special ability. Like the strength will let you flip a die over. The constitution will let you pip a die up by 1 or down by 1. The dexterity will let you just swap 2 dice on your board. So you do this until all 18 slots are filled. Now you start with 7, so it's not as bad as it sounds. But you play through the 11 rounds until all 18 slots are filled. And then you add. You've got a strength of 18. Great. My class card says I needed an 18. Perfect. However, I have a dex of 14. And my class card says my dex needed to be 15 or better. So I did not get that bonus. So it's a fine balance of paying attention to your class card and what do the numbers need to be versus your background card and what do the colors need to be. And do I have them in the right places? It's an interesting, again, it's a puzzle. Go figure. But no, I really enjoy this, even though I hate building characters in a role-playing game. It's just my least favorite part of role-playing. But I like this game. I enjoy the puzzle of this game and how to flip my dice and how to manipulate those dice to make them what I need them to be. So anyway, that is my number 83. Yes, Role Player.
My number 83 is the first of the Shem Phillip games. Yes.
Wasn't Scholars?
Second of the Shem Phillip games. First of the West Kingdom games.
Okay, that's better.
This one is West. This is
Okay.
the West Kingdom. This is Architects of the West Kingdom.
Okay.
How would you explain it? This is one, it's a huge board. It has a prison in it because you can
can send
capture
people
people.
to
But you have a
prison, yeah.
bunch of different areas around the board where you're sending your meeples or your workers, and you have all your workers at the beginning of the game. It's not one of those you're going to gain workers as you go. No, you got them all at the game, and you're sending them out to get resources and money and cards and be able to go hire people or going out to arrest other players' peoples and throwing them in and holding them for ransom or sending them off to jail or sending your people to go get your people out of jail, basically go bail them out because they got caught loitering at somebody else's shop, or they stole, or they got caught down the black
They were
market.
causing a commotion.
There is so many places to go in here, but all it is about is getting the points.
Yeah.
But I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, was the first Garfield game that we played.
I think so,
if I'm not mistaken, was
think so.
Architects of the West Kingdom.
Yeah, this one has that interesting mechanism where you put one out, you get the lowest possible action.
Yeah.
And then the next time you send another guy there, now you get a better action.
Yeah.
And then you
And
send
it
a
keeps
third
getting
guy
better.
there and it gets better. But you have to be careful because if too many people are there, they start loitering and it'll catch people's attention.
Yeah,
and
somebody
then they
can
to
go
jail.
over there and say, hey, go arrest these guys.
Yep, too many people, gotta go to jail. Yeah, it's interesting.
Or you could just pull them back and then now you
And,
got to start all
and
over
that's
again.
yeah, you have to pull them back, and then that action you start at the weaker level again. But you keep them from going to jail.
Yeah, and then it's got the tracks on the side where are you going to be a good person or are you going to be a bad person, and going up and down that. But yeah, this is a lot of fun.
It's a good
This
one.
is Architects of the West Kingdom, mine number 83. That's why I keep her.
I'm glad I'm keeping track. All right, my number 82 is my third roll and write, all on this list so far, this segment.
It's all about the rolling because you just had role player.
I did, right? I've had a lot of dice stuff in this one, haven't I?
Yeah, because you had Sagrada too.
Yeah,
and
I had
on tour
Sagrada and on tour and role player, and now this one is the flip and write, though. It's not a roll and write, it's a flip and write. It's still a write. We've discovered this one kind of on a fluke. It was a two-player, or no, I'm sorry, it was not a two-player game. It was a roll and write. It could play up to, I think, 6 to 8 people. And we were standing in line waiting to buy some other stuff and saw it, and I thought, what the heck?
It looked like a kid's game.
It did look like a kid's game. This is Trails of Tucana. This is a good one, though. I mean, it can be a little confusing to teach. I've tried to teach it to non-gamers, and I don't think they ever caught on. But they tried. So everybody has a map of this island with all different icons on it. Everybody's maps are identical. However, at the beginning of the game, you have to number your ports. Thank you. You have to number your ports. The first player starts at the top. The second player starts at the next port. The third player at the next port. So everybody is starting.
At a different
They're
port.
one.
They're A's.
Or A's.
Letters,
It
yeah.
is letters.
It's
Okay.
A through E.
So there's more than 5 ports. But anyway, everybody is starting A here, A here, A here, A here. So everybody's ports are numbered differently. And that comes into play because some of the goals are to get port A and A connected. You're right.
Right,
It
there's
is
10
A through
ports
E.
total.
You're right. It is A through E.
That's why she keeps me.
That's right. I forgot they were doubled up until I said that.
It doesn't happen that often, but
you have to get the 2 A's connected, the 2 B's connected, the 2 C's connected, and everybody's are a little bit different. On top of that, you are trying to connect the different statues or the different icons in the middle of the island, because those are what is ultimately giving you your biggest points. Each round, a card flips over that shows a terrain type, and you have to, or 2 terrain types,
of them, yeah.
and you have to draw a line to connect those 2 terrain types. There are some that are wild, so that gives you a little bit of flexibility. But you're trying to make all of these connections from icon to icon and port to port with the restriction of these are the 2 terrain types I have to work with this turn. You play through the whole deck and then score that phase. And I think you played 3 rounds this way. I have always really enjoyed this one. This was one of our end of the night, relax for a little bit type of games.
We haven't played it in a while. But
We haven't, and we need to get it back out. But anyway, that is my number 82, my third roll and write or flip and write game, Trails of Tucana.
where did that end up on my list? I know it's not my top 100, but it'd be interesting to know where it landed.
This was 54 last year, so it has dropped a little bit for me this year, probably because we have not played it.
Trail 264.
Okay.
So apparently I don't like it as much.
Nope.
Like I said, none of them made it. Okay, this is number 82, correct?
Yes.
This is a game that we tried getting at Gen Con a couple years ago, and it was sold out. I finally got to play it at the Dice Tower Retreat that year, and we finally bought it. And I only think it dropped because this was number 35 last year. But I think it dropped because we haven't gotten to play it a lot. This is the game that I drove Jeff absolutely nuts about it. The three of us played it at the retreat. This is Cosmoctopus.
Oh. Yeah.
This is literally an engine building game where you are getting cards to build your engine to get resources or extra actions basically as you play cards. And I was getting my engine built so easily to where I would do like 20 different things before you guys got to do one thing.
Yep. It was very frustrating.
But it's basically getting the resources to get cards, and the goal of the game is basically to get 8 octopus legs. Once you get the first person with 8 octopus legs wins the game.
Yep.
And I just happened to be awfully good at it when I played with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a card game, but it's the kind of card game I don't mind because it's an engine builder, and I really like the engine building aspects of games. So. But that is 20. This is 82. Cosmoctopus.
We have not gotten to play this one in a little while. So yeah, that's probably why. I'm not even sure if it's on my list. All right, my number 81 is another one that is new to the list. It is one that we will never have a chance to play again. But I very much enjoyed every one of the probably 15 to 18 plays we had of it. This is Pandemic Legacy Season 0. We've played all 3 Pandemic Legacies. This is the only one that made my list, that made the top 100, probably because we've played it the most recently. Season 1 we played back in 17. Season 2 we played back in 20. This one we finished up this year. This one kind of takes it on its head just a little bit. As the name implies, it goes backwards prior to Season 1. There are a lot of big aha moments in this one. The big thing with this, and this is not a spoiler, is that instead of fighting disease, or instead of playing doctors or whatever, fighting diseases, you are secret agents. And you're working toward a goal together to stop the bad guys. Mm-hmm. I won't go into what the aha moments are because that would be a spoiler. So we'll just leave it.
It tells you that it's what happened before Season 1 happened.
And this does lead into Season 1.
Yeah, but don't play it without playing Season 1.
You have to play Season 1
You got to play
2.
1 and 2 and then go back to Season, because it makes it even more of a surprise. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That explains so. It basically takes everything and ties everything up.
It does. It absolutely tied everything together, which I thought was fantastic. I would play this one again if given the opportunity, because obviously you're going to make different choices. The games are going to come out differently. Because this one had a lot of choose your own adventure type stuff in it, which I really liked. It had a lot of, are you going to do this or are you going to do that? And that decision made a difference of what happened. And I really like that. But anyway, that is my number 81, Pandemic Legacy Season 0.
Okay, so my number 81 actually went up. It was 86 last year.
Okay.
And now it's 81.
Same list, okay.
Same list, but it went up. This is the first, maybe the only trekking on my list. This is Trekking Through History.
Okay.
This is the one that I really like of this
I knew
group,
this is your favorite.
This one's just so cool because you're making treks by putting things in chronological order. I was getting ready circulation, but that's not it. In chronological order by date, by when you're drafting them off the main board. But it's going to cost you time because there's a little clock that's keeping track of the rounds, and wherever you take a card, it's going to tell you how much time it's going to take off your clock, and so you could end up with, like, if you wanted some really cool cards, you could end up like maybe only 4 actions that turn, only 4 cards driving. Somebody else ended up like 7 or 8 because they took their time going around and taking the lower ones to make a larger trek. Yeah. But the cool thing about this is, just like any of the trekking things, they always have description on the back and tells you
love
about
that.
what's on that card.
Tells you all about that moment in history. Oh, it's so neat.
Yeah, because like the one I always point out is the one, it's the the US Festival, and or is it Live Aid?
Oh, it's Live Aid.
It's Live
because
Aid.
it has Queen on it.
Yeah, it has Freddie Mercury on the front end of
Yeah.
it, and and then on the back end of it, it tells you all about Live Aid and Freddie Mercury and everything. But all the cards are like that, all the way back to like, what is it, like 25,000 BC?
I think it goes back to like
BCE, I think it is.
56,000 BCE. It
Yeah.
goes way
And
back.
it tells you what was going on in that, and
Yeah.
all these cards. I guess that would be more of a guesstimate as to what was going on during that
but
period, though.
It's
through
much
science,
more. It's much more
it's a little
theoretical.
more. Yeah.
It's a little more theoretical, a little more. I don't want to say glossed over. That's not really the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But it is much. It's not as detailed.
Yep. So yeah, but this is a cool one. I mean, if you don't have enough cards in your trek, you're going to lose points if you close it. And if you don't have any more cards to take, you got to close it and start a new one, and you're going to end up scoring for that one and move on the scoreboard though. Yeah. But there is a way to prolong it, hoping like, well, I know these cards are still out there. Maybe if I can go another round, maybe that card will come out and I'll be able to get it. And then so you can go visit your ancestors during that time. And there's another stack of cards.
Yeah.
But those are limited, and they can go on your card and count. And then you're there for the next round. Maybe that card will come out though. Yeah. But it's really cool. I do like it. This is the one that I like the most out of all the trekking.
I do really enjoy this one. I'm not sure where it ended up on my list. I imagine it's higher up on my list, but I don't know where at the moment.
So this is Trekking Through History, my number 81.
All right. And that does it for this list. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let us know what your thoughts are on any of these games. But in the meantime,
we'll see you at the next one.